After starting a verbal war with Formula One's reigning champions, McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown is now resorting to dirty tactics, straight up insulting Max Verstappen's talent and accomplishments in front of the media. Here's the full rundown on his Red Bull smear campaign. Get ready for some heated debates in the paddock. Zak Brown is stirring the pot yet again with his latest take on Red Bull, insisting that while Max Verstappen undoubtedly ranks among Formula One's elite, it's the Red Bull rocket ship that's truly fueling his reign at the top. Max Verstappen first conquered the Formula One throne in 2021, clinching his maiden world championship after an unforgettable season-long duel with Lewis Hamilton. Since then, it's been smooth sailing for Verstappen, with title victories coming his way with remarkable ease. The Dutchman snagged the 2022 and 2023 titles with record-breaking ease, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. With 4 victories out of the first 6 races in the 2024 season, he's on a blazing path to make it 4 consecutive crowns. Zak Brown hasn't held back his thoughts on Red Bull lately, especially after the shocking exit of their design genius, Adrian Newey. Brown boldly predicts Newey's departure is just the first domino to fall amid the team's behind-the-scenes turmoil. Now, Max Verstappen is in the spotlight of yet another controversial suggestion from Brown. While the American isn't completely downplaying Verstappen's driving skills, even pointing to his dominance over teammate Sergio Perez, Brown firmly believes that Verstappen's title-winning streak wouldn't continue without the Red Bull machinery. When asked on the Beyond the Grid podcast whether he'd prefer a star driver or a top designer, Brown didn't hold back on the Max Verstappen shade in his response. He said, "Well, ultimately, you need both. I don't think without a star driver you're going win, so you need both. First, it does start with the car. People ask me all the time, is it car or driver? And it's like, well, it's both. I think the way I characterize it is, I think there are 6-7 drivers on the grid that will be world champions in the Red Bull. As great as Max is, and he's one of the best ever, I don't think Max wins the world championship today in any other car other than the Red Bull. But then, when you look at the difference, and Sergio Perez is an excellent racing driver who's shown on his day he can run with Max, but look at the difference there. So, I think you need both, because as Formula One gets closer and Max is doing such a special job, but look at what's going on from P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. One day, we're McLaren, P2, next day, we're P5, and it's all moving around. So the cars are so close that that's when the driver is going to make the difference. So you need both at the end of the day. In the latest F1 showdown in Miami, Lando Norris crossed the finish line ahead of Max Verstappen. Norris capitalized on a mid-race safety car, just as he was becoming a serious threat for victory. Meanwhile, Verstappen struggled with a damaged Red Bull, making it a tough race for the reigning champ. The Miami race result has fueled anticipation for more exciting duels between Norris and Verstappen. McLaren's upgraded 2024 car has shown a tremendous amount of improvement, echoing their strong performance in the latter half of the 2023 season. But Verstappen typically still holds the edge with his superior Red Bull machinery. When asked about the potential outcome of a closer battle between Norris and Verstappen at the recent Monaco Historique Grand Prix event, Brown shared his thoughts in an exclusive interview with Autosport, saying, "I do think Lando can beat Max in a straight fight. I think it would be an awesome fight. I think many races would end in tears for one or the other, or both. But I think as far as raw talent can be, I've not seen someone faster than Lando. I'm sure Max is just as fast. I'm sure some people will disagree, and ultimately, we'll never know until you see them in the same car. But from everything I can see of Lando, I don't see a faster racing driver out there. What's exciting is Oscar Piastri can match him. As he gets more experience, I think he'll match him more often." Brown is feeling good about Norris's future, anticipating that the young driver will continue to progress and achieve even better results. Norris's recent first F1 win, after several close calls in 2021, marks a monumental milestone in his career, signalling further growth and success ahead. "For sure," said Brown. "There's something about when drivers get their first win. I remember from when I got my first win. Now you know you've done it. The first win just relaxes drivers, and they don't have to try as hard. In anything, you can try too hard, and that kind of works against you. But most importantly, I think he has confidence we're going to give him a race-winning car, and last weekend we did. That has only raised his confidence even further." With Verstappen keeping his long-term Red Bull future up in the air and Mercedes boss Toto Wolff eagerly watching, The Dutchman recently called out Zak Brown for trying to stir things up at Red Bull. This came after Brown's provocative comments on the Adrian Newey saga, adding more fuel to the already intense rivalry. All things considered, Verstappen hasn't been fazed by Brown's previous comments, and it's unlikely he'll lose any sleep over this latest claim from the McLaren boss. Max appears to be focused on the track, letting his driving do the talking. He obviously wants to stir things up, said Verstappen. For us as a team, we can't do anything with comments like that. From his point of view, I understand it, of course, because everyone is trying to attract our people, and that is completely normal in the world of Formula One as well. But I'm not really interested in those things either. I see the headlines, but I don't even click on them. And if you're wondering what Max Verstappen thinks about Adrian Newey leaving the team, here's your answer. Despite Red Bull's resident car genius being contracted until 2025, the team's recent statement indicates that the 65-year-old design maestro will have the option to leave in the first quarter of next season. This move allows Newey the freedom to join a competitor and contribute to the development of the next generation of F1 cars, slated for 2026. Verstappen openly acknowledged that he wasn't worried about Red Bull's decision to allow Newey to potentially depart, noting that the team owed Newey for the tremendous success he had brought them. I am not surprised because we respect him a lot, and we will always be very thankful what he has done for the team over all these years, Verstappen said in Miami. I am not talking for Christian Horner, Red Bull team principal, or whatever, because I know he has to discuss that with Christian about how the release terms and stuff are done, but I am not surprised because in a way, it would be also a little bit unfair to put him on gardening leave for a long time, just thinking back on what he has done for the team. There is this mutual respect between the two parties. Newey is believed to have rejected an offer from Aston Martin, and Williams boss James Vowles mentioned having preliminary talks with him. But the most likely scenario if Newey stays in F1 is rumoured to be Ferrari, which has attempted 3 times before to entice the design genius. Verstappen acknowledged that Ferrari would benefit significantly from Newey's expertise, especially with new technical regulations on the horizon. When asked if Newey joining a rival team would trouble Red Bull, Verstappen responded, saying, I don't know. I think always when a person like Adrian, with his experience and also the knowledge that he has from our team, it should be an advantage. But then on the other hand, in 26 again, everything is very, very new, very different to how the cars are now. Before he would potentially join another team is in 25, then normally the cars are already designed for the next year. So that is again something it's something that you don't know how much of influence he can have. But for sure, with new regulations, if he would go somewhere else with his knowledge, he can bring a lot to a team. What do you think? Do you agree with Zak Brown's hot take on a head-to-head between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen? Who do you think will come out on top? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news.